Greetings. We wanted to do a quick little video to help people learn how to access our homeless continuum of care meetings, find out when they're happening, learn how to find the agendas, how to read the packets, all that good stuff. So this is our main website, cchealth.org/h3. And there's a couple ways you can get to the information. Let's start with attending a council meeting or a continuum of care meeting and finding out all about those meetings. So you can go to, I want to attend a continuum of care meeting. So on this page, it tells you a little bit about the meetings. We actually have a little Google Calendar here. And so what you'll see on the Google Calendar is that there are invitations or sorry, not invitations, but meeting notices. And if you double click on them, they will often have a link where you can register. And when you go to register, then you can actually just automatically drop it into your calendar yourself. We also have a way to sign up for a mailing list that I'll show you in a minute. But let's say we are interested in an upcoming meeting. We can go to agendas and minutes, this green box here, and click on the green box for agendas and minutes, and it's going to take you to a website called Agenda Center. So this is a big sort of warehouse of all the materials and recordings and things from a bunch of different meetings for Contra Costa County. And we are looking for the Council on Homelessness. So this is alphabetical, so we're going to scroll down. There's the Council on Homelessness. So they link these meetings or group them by year. So you could go to 2020, 2021. Let's go to 2022 and see what's happening this year. So there's two ways you can do it. You can click down like that, and that'll give you the most current listing, or you can click on that little number. And what you're going to see is there's the date of the meeting, the name of the meeting, and this name is also actually a hyperlink to the agenda. There's a column for minutes. So if minutes get posted after a meeting, you'll see them there and you can go click on them and read them. And then if there are recordings from that meeting, there can be links posted there. So let's go to our January 20th council meeting because it's already happened. So we'll get to see all the goodies from it. So you can click, let's say it's before the meeting and we want to know, well, what's going to happen there? Is this worth my time? You can click on there. And what you'll get is a big packet of information. So this is 70 pages long. If you want to, you can just look page by page by page. But another thing you can do is under that first icon, there's a second icon that kind of looks like a list. And what that will do is show you, it's almost like a little table of contents. So you can see what's in there is the agenda for this meeting that's coming up, minutes from the last meeting, if you want to see what happened last time to kind of catch up, whatever slides have been prepared in advance. So you can actually, like, if you are the kind of person that wants to look at a slide deck in advance or take notes on it for yourself, you can do that. Our council meetings often have a staff report where we recap some information that's happened over the last month that maybe doesn't need to get reported out, in the talking time of a meeting, but is probably useful for the council to know. And then any other materials that might get discussed or that we want council members to know about. So there's a report and a little bit about committees. So if you go to the agenda, you'll see there's these different categories, right? So there's the agenda item and then the presenter. And you'll also notice there's something called action items on here. And those are things where the council is going to have to actually vote on something. And we're always really careful to make sure if there's something they're going to vote on, we describe it carefully and we have the information that's needed for anybody to review. The other piece that we have on here is something called public comment. So after all of these agenda items, there's an opportunity for anybody who's attending the meeting, even if they're not a council member, to speak up, ask questions, whatever. But if there's something that somebody wants to say that's not on the agenda, there's a public comment period, and it's usually you have, depending, between 1 and 3 minutes, depending on how packed the agenda is. So you can raise your hand either on Zoom or put in the chat that you have something to say, and you can say something during public comment. But we also leave time at the end for announcements. So this is a great time if you have information about a new program or an event or an activity coming up that you want everyone to know about, you can talk about that in the announcements section. So this is just a little bit about how to do that. For the minutes, you'll see the minutes will show you the date and time of the meeting, which council meetings were there, who was absent, who was there from staff, and then all the community members that attended. And then there's usually some brief notes about what was discussed. And if there was a decision made, you'll see what was voted on, if there was any discussion, and then how the votes went. Now, if you want to get more information about Council on Homelessness meetings and you want to get emails about them that will tell you, go back to get help. Sorry, just kidding. Go back to home. Just kidding. See, sometimes it's a little tricky. So if you go to Health, Housing, and Homelessness, you again go to this I want to, and you can say, I want to sign up for the mailing list. So if you click on that, you may have already given us your information, but you can also update what you want to get. You would put your email, your first name, your last name. If you have a job title, and it could be, my job title is community member, and your company could be, my company is the city that I live in or the neighborhood I'm in. That's flexible. And then you can tell us all the kinds of information that you want to get. So there's information about advocacy opportunities. This is our monthly newsletter. So we send monthly newsletter with a pretty comprehensive set of information. Usually includes upcoming meetings, any updates we want people to know. For providers, so people that are actually doing work to provide services to people experiencing homelessness, this is information for those trainings. If you want to provide input on different things, let us know. Equity is a new sort of bucket of work that we're starting on. So people that want to stay up to date on the work we're doing around equity, that's a good option. If you want to know about funding opportunities for agencies and programs, not for individual people, that's a good option. If you want to keep your eye on housing opportunities, sometimes we hear about open wait lists, that sort of things. That would be a good list for you. If you're interested in what's happening with older adults, with veterans, with youth, those are all things that you could click. And then we get into all of our different kinds of meetings. So COC learning hubs and stakeholder meetings are really designed for community members. So anybody who's interested in homelessness might be interested in those. And then we have a bunch of different committees that you could sign up to get notifications about. Our monthly council meetings. There's some work happening to connect homeless services and workforce services. So somebody interested in that might click that. Again, this is really for providers. If they're a homeless service provider, we want to know. If somebody is a person with a lived experience of homelessness, we would love to know, because sometimes we want to specifically ask questions or get feedback from or have opportunities for people with a lived experience of homelessness. And then the last option is for people that are working in law enforcement. Again, we sometimes have questions or opportunities for people that work in that field. That's it. Thanks.